Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in through our online affiliates around the world, including our radio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. I am really excited to welcome publicist and my friend, Zack Teperman, to the program today. I was just joking with him. I've had several of his clients on the program over the years. It's his very first time that's on with us. He's the founder of ZTPR. We're going to talk to him not only about what it's been like for him to work with his clients, but also this year to be able to talk about a project that he's been very hands-on with. His very first book is called Cut the Bull, a quick guide to getting your name or product out there somewhere. We're going to talk to Zack not only about the writing of the book and the fun way that it's kind of presented, but also I think the great nuggets that it shares for all of us, I think regardless of what our professions might be and what we can be able to glean from it. Zack, hello to you and welcome to the program, man.
Hey, Cyrus, thanks for having me on. It's been a fun few years working together with you, and great to finally be on your show.
Well, look, man, the pleasure is definitely on mine. I want to, first of all, thank you for your support of Conversations Live and trusting us with your clients over the years. It really means a whole lot. And then, of course, when I saw about your book, Zack, I was like, okay, finally, I have a reason to be able to get him to come on the show now to kind of fill us in on what he's been up to and what he's been able to do. Let's start with the book, Zack. I mean, did you know as you were going throughout this journey of building your PR firm and working with your clients that this was something that you eventually wanted to do, and that is write a book?
You know what? I've always loved writing. I really have. And one of my bucket list items has always been to write my own book. But honestly, over the last few years, as my firm has grown bigger and bigger, and I've gotten all different types of clients, I have people literally messaging me every day asking, for different advice or tips or, all different things. And I just couldn't get back to everybody at once. So I guess,
Right.
Putting this book together was more of a selfish reason to save some time and, have these people be able to just read a book and get the quick facts that they need right away for, getting your product or yourself out there.
Right. And you bring up a really good point that ties in so well with the book Cut the Bull, Zack, because you have lived exactly what you've shared. I mean, there are some great tips in here. I'm going to be pulling out a few of them and have us talk about it. But do you think this book really, gives you an opportunity to kind of say, okay, look, I know what I'm talking about here because that's how I've been able to build what is now ZTPR?
Exactly. I've had luckily enough, I've had a lot of experience over the last, dozen years. And the book, concentrates on the main things that people need to know. Now, when you're trying to get yourself out there or your product out there, it's pretty basic. I mean, there's basic things you need to know, and you don't need to read a 1,000,000-page how-to book, or you don't need to go for a whole weekend sit-down conference about marketing. If you can get the main items down, you'll be pretty successful just to, get your brand or yourself launched. And so, when I was reading other books and stuff, I saw, people, all these dozens of pages, and I was like, you know what? There's nothing out there that just, cuts the BS and gets right to the point, and that's how Cut the BS came to be.
Yeah. And I want to start with one of the tips that's in the book that I believe is so important for all of us, again, regardless of what our profession might be or what is it we're trying to do when it comes to reaching our audience, Zack, because you've been able to do this really well, and that is to think outside of the box. When people think of ZTPR, and this show is a great testament of it, you don't just have one type of client, as you were mentioning, that you have. You have a variety of clients literally around the world. How important has that been for you in building your brand to think outside the box and to look at ways that you can be able to get the most for your clients that way?
You have to. In this day and age, you need to think outside the box. If you are just banking on just getting a regular article out there or, just talking about some boring topic, people aren't going to care and people aren't going to engage with you. And so you need to think outside the box, not only to hook the media to want to talk about you, but, to get and engage others. Over the years, we've come up with fun, different ideas and outside of the box thinking. And I think that has led to a lot of success for a bunch of my clients.
Right. Another thing that I think you have done really well, Zack, and I think our audience, again, can learn this, and I think social media, ironically, makes this easier, and that is to know the news, to be aware of what's going on, and to be able to see how you can fit inside of it. I think this is brilliant because especially if you're looking at trending topics on these days on Twitter as well as on Facebook, and now I've even noticed on LinkedIn that you're able to kind of, be able to kind of get into that current and to share your information that way. Have you found that that's been also one of those basic steps, Zack, that people can look at to say, okay, how can I be able to fit into something that's going on either locally, nationally, or, around the world?
Exactly. You said it best, Cyrus. Whether, you're sending a pitch out, and say the economy's crashing, well, your product, how that ties in and using that as the hook to engage the media and get them interested in the topic that you're pitching is, a great idea. Or if, you're a celebrity or you're an actor, actress, musician, and you're attending, a red carpet event or, a mix and mingle type of thing, and you're on the red carpet and say it's Easter time and you're walking the red carpet and there's some big news about a movement happening about Easter, you don't want to be on the red carpet and then somebody asks you about this movement in the Easter and you're kind of sitting there like, I didn't hear about that. So, to always be aware of what's going on around you and in the news and how you can relate, whether it's your product or yourself, to it, will just, make you more appealing and attractive to these media outlets and to consumers that want to engage with you.
Yeah. I want to go back to you for a moment, Zack, but since this is my first opportunity to be able to do this, because in building what you've done, there are a couple of things that I've noticed that are in the book that you definitely yourself have mastered, and then, of course, I'm sure you're able to share that with your clients. One, of course, is to be appropriate. I mean, you have been able to not only be a part of some great things, we're able to follow you on social media and see you not only having fun, but also being able to support causes that are important to you. How important has that been for you in building your brand and being able to not only be there to talk about a client, but also to support causes and let people see you out in the community?
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. Growing up, I've always been involved in different charities, whether it's, been when I was first in, I think elementary school, I got involved with an organization called Free the Children in Canada, where we would buy cows overseas for families in third world countries because a cow can, provide so many different things, to, now getting into the PR world and being involved with, Habitat for Humanity or all these different causes where our celebrities get invited out to support them. And, it means a lot to me. There's a lot of different things on a personal level that I believe in. And so when there's an opportunity for me to, lend my services or my time or my money to these different organizations, I'm all about it. And, that's, it's all part and parcel. I believe in karma and I believe everything happens for a reason. And so when these opportunities come forward, I like to jump on them.
Right. Fear is one of the things, as you know, Zack, I talk about a lot on this program with our guests because I think it stops so many people who are talented, who have great things that need to be shared. It stops them from sharing it because either someone has told them something that makes them feel as though it's not going to work, or they've told themselves something. How have you not allowed fear to stop you in building your brand and being able to build the organization that you've been able to build?
Well, you can't have fear. You really can't have fear. You need to just go for it. If you have a passion for something and you can dedicate your full time to it, go for it. Don't let anybody else tell you no. Don't let anybody put you down, because once you make it, all those people, like Johnny Depp once said, once you make it, all those people that doubted you are going to tell everybody else how they grew up with you and how they know you. So the attitudes will change. So you can't really have fear because, if you're fearful, you're not going to accomplish what you want. So just, go for it. And I've never let anything like that get in my way. Jerry Weintraub, and I put this in the book itself, he said the best thing. He never heard the word no. He only heard yes, yes, yes. And, whenever people told him no, he first wanted to change that no into a maybe. And then once you get to the maybe, you can then try to change it into a yes. And, that's right. How, my attitude's been, with my firm and clients and, everything I do. There's no such thing as no. Yeah, it might not be the right timing for something, but there's always a way, and, it's finding the right angle to get to, a client to where they need to be. It might not happen overnight, and, I cut the BS with my clients. I tell them how it is. If they come to me and they say, Zach, I want to be, on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine tomorrow, I'm going to tell them, I don't think that's going to happen. But these are the steps we can do to work you towards that direction, and maybe to some other different outlets that might be a proper fit for you.
Oh, that's good. And Zach, that ties into another thing in the book. And now I'm going to talk to you about that, about preparing with the end in mind. I think that is so cool. So let's talk about that. I want to first say, though, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. I'm excited to welcome Zack Teperman to our program today. He's not only a celebrity publicist, but the founder of ZTPR. He's been able to do some amazing things for his clients as well as for organizations that he believes in. And this year, he's adding author to his name with his new book, Cut the Bull, a quick guide to getting your name or product out there somewhere. It's available now through our friends at Amazon.com. We'll remind you of that at the end of the segment. Let's talk about preparing with the end in mind. I mean, you had made a name for yourself before you became a celebrated publicist, Zach, in radio. What is it that led you to the world of public relations?
I love radio. As you know, it's fun to interact with people. It's,
Right.
Radio will never die. People might say radio's old. I don't believe that. Radio is here forever. And I loved being on the air. I loved traveling and, doing live to airs from different events. And, I got to see many different things and meet, many great people. But it came a time when, I started, to love something else more. And that happens in life. Your first passion isn't always your end passion. And so, I moved into the world of public relations and marketing, and I found the passion of helping, people, not just big people that are known everywhere, but helping the small guys, the people that want to be famous, or the people that want to pursue, a career in, being a lawyer or a doctor, or, have a cool new product and they want everybody to know about it. I found the passion in helping these people get the exposure they wanted. And so, my path changed, and, we're on that path today. So, thinking about the end in mind, I don't have the end in mind right now, but, I know where I'm heading and I know what I want to come next. And I do that for each one of my clients. We plan strategically, where they want to go to and how we're going to get there.
Right, for sure. And, the other thing that you mentioned was about timing. Timing is another thing you mentioned in the book. I'm not going to cover everything in the book, but, it's so funny how you'll say something that reminds me like, hey, that's in the book. Timing is one of the things I think a lot of people take for granted. Unfortunately, in the book you talk about the importance of basically being prompt, making sure that, that is part of the reputation that you're building. Have you found that that's also one of those things? Because there are some people, and we hear about it, on television or, read about it, people who are known for being late. They make you wait on the concert. They make you wait on different things. Do you find that is one of those things that even though for some people it's like part of their MO, it's not necessarily something that people should strive to do?
Well, I thought when you said timing, you were going to cut me off and say, and we're out of time today, Zach. But I'm glad you didn't use that segue. Timing in two regards is great. Either being on time for an event, a photo shoot, an interview, or anything, always be on time. I carry around, I don't even put my schedule in my phone. I carry around an agenda with me with, by the hour, by the minute, what I have to do, who I need to call. And I believe everybody should have some sort of, schedule or calendar that they can refer to, because being on time is the most important thing. I don't care how big you are. People will always remember if you're late or you don't show. And you don't want that reputation. And so timing in that regard is very important. And then timing in regards to, when we pitch a story out there or where, you want a product to be, obviously that's important, because say you have a product that like a kayak, and you're pitching a kayak story about how it's a great summer item, but you're in the middle of winter, you might want to change the pitch a little bit to, go with the season that you're in. So, there's different timing for different types of placements. So it's always great to be aware of, the timing and the season and where you need to be, what you need to do. It's important. You can't be successful if you're going to be late. You can't be successful if you're pitching something that's totally off time.
Yeah. I have asked some of your clients that have come on this program, Zack, about success. And people will look at you and say, wow, he's successful. Now, of course, you're adding, as I said, a new slash this year with as author, and we're definitely going to talk about how much fun that was for you to kind of put this book together with your illustrator. Have you found that your idea of what success is for you, has it changed, or have you found that that's one of the things that has kind of been constant for you, Zack?
Well, I think success is obviously different to everybody. They measure it based on their own standards and their own, way of life as well. My way of success is more of the accomplishment of what I'm trying to do, the purpose. So if I'm accomplishing whatever the purpose is, then I feel that is successful. So, my goal with the book was to, write a book, put it out there, and let people enjoy it. Whether they hate it or love it, I don't care. I feel successful that I was able to accomplish that. So that's the, meaning of success to me. The same with my firm and the same with my clients. Obviously, everybody has different goals, and success could mean one thing to another person, to me, and the way we do everything. But, we try to measure that as we go along so everybody's on the same page.
Right, for sure. And that brings us to the book again, Cut the Bull. You mentioned, that writing a book was something that you knew you wanted to do. Writing is something you enjoyed. But this type of book is not your typical book about, how to succeed and being able to get your name or product out there. How did you decide on the concept for this book, Zack?
Well, Cut the Bull, $hit. We can say that on radio, right?
Sure.
The concept was really, twofold. One, I had a great illustrator with a man by the name of Willie Pina. He did some awesome sheep drawings, and the reason we went to sheep was, sheep follow a herd and everything, and humans, a lot of us are kind of like sheep. We all just follow along in life, and we just do as we're told. We wake up, we go to work, we do our job, we come home, we eat, we sleep, go to the bathroom, sleep some more, whatever, your schedule is. And so,
right.
With cutting the bull, $hit, we're really trying to break that mold and letting people know the basic facts on how they could be successful and push themselves out there how they want. And obviously, I have, my attention span is very short. And so reading, thousands of pages of a book does not appeal to me. It might appeal to some people. People in medical school might love that. But to me, I feel like I can get the point across in 4 lines on every page on a specific topic. And I feel like, if you talk to people and you write to people how you like to be spoken to, it'll appeal to them. And so with, Cut the Bull, $hit, it's short and sweet and right to the point. You don't have to read, thousands of pages. You get the facts you need, and you can walk away, after reading this book after just 10 minutes. It'll take 10 minutes to read this entire book, feeling a bit better and hopefully learning a few things that you can take with you in your everyday life.
Right. Well, Zack, I'm not just saying this because we're friends. There is so much. I think if people just, like you said, if they took the time to read this, there are so many things in here that I think they would be able to glean and be able to take away. I want to basically, at this point, I want to commend you on something and something I really appreciate about you. And I didn't even tell you I was going to say this, but when I got to it in the book, my day starts, my radio audience know my day starts here very early because I do the morning news here in Mississippi at 6 a.m. So my day typically starts between 2:30 and 3 a.m. If I have an email from Zack and I respond to him at 2:30, 2:45 in the morning, I'm going to get an email from him pretty quick. And I bring that up because you have a section in the book, Be Quick. Talk to us about the importance of that. And, you say something in the book, and I'll share it at the end of the segment. But, why has that been so important for you?
Be quick, be fast. That's what I always say. I like to say that I work 28-hour days, but it's because I love what I do. And that's the same reason
right.
You wake up early in the morning and you email too. is you love what you do. So when you love what you do, there is no time schedule. You don't mind working all hours of the day, and it's not really work. It's fun. But being quick is very important, because I believe, and not a lot of people can do this, and not a lot of people believe this. But me personally, I believe that if somebody's going to take the time to email me, or take the time to talk about one of my clients, or anything else, I need to give them that exact time back, and I like to be quick. If you send me an email today asking a question and I don't get back to you for 2 weeks, either you're going to forget about that whole thing, or, we're not going to be able to get what we need to accomplish done quickly. And that's not going to serve me right or serve my clients right. So if somebody's going to email me, I like to get back to them within a few hours, if not minutes, just because, I would like the same courtesy back to me. Doesn't always happen that way, but, I'm not saying you, Cyrus. I'm saying, other media outlets and other people.
Sure.
But, I like to always be quick and be fast, because if I can do that and set that example, hopefully my clients and other people will follow it.
Right. Well, I have to say another thing that you mentioned in the book, and not forgetting that we all have competition. And where we might slack in one area, that may be exactly what makes the difference for someone else, that they're able to do something quicker in a way that is more productive or more appealing. But for yourself, though, Zack, it does not seem like, and this is being on the outside looking into what you're building with ZTPR, and like I said, you and I have been working together for several years now. It seems as though you're just comfortable just doing what you do. I mean, do you worry at all about, do you think at all about competition?
It's cheesy to say this, Cyrus, but, the biggest competition is yourself and, yourself.
Yeah, right.
And getting over your own hurdles. Everybody else, I don't really see competition. Like, if I'm going to play hockey or baseball or a sport, there's competition. We're competing. We're in a sport. Excuse me. But, when it comes to, life and work, one product might be better than the other, or one actor might be better than the other in this way, but everybody is different. Everybody has their own niche, and it's finding that niche and promoting that niche out there, and there is no competition. Your only competition is yourself. If you don't want to get off your butt every day and work, if you don't want to, take the time and give what you want to do your full attention and passion, then you're really only competing with yourself, and you're going to lose to yourself. First, if you want to call it a competition, compete with yourself. Don't compete with others.
Yeah. I think that's very well said, and it's a great reminder again for us, Zack, regardless of what our respective business might be or what the brand is that we're building. I think to be the best of ourselves is definitely a great thing to think about. Again, everyone, Zack Teperman has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Zack, as I knew it was going to be. Cut the Bull is the title of the book, a quick guide to getting your name or product out there somewhere. As I mentioned, it's available through our friends at Amazon.com. For those that are joining us either on the online side or our iHeartRadio side, the link to this book is actually in the description of this particular show. And, Zack, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you as well?
Hey, go to my website, ztpr.net, or if you're listening from Canada, that's ztpr.net. And I always open to emails if anybody ever needs advice or just wants to email over. It's info@ztpr.net. But if you need advice, read the book first. Take your time, do your knowledge, and get everything you need.
Right. Well, Zack, congratulations to you again, and thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, and a pleasure always working with you, Cyrus. You are one of the rare ones in this industry, and we can't appreciate you more than enough.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Zack, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site. So head over to Facebook.com/CyrusWebb or go to Twitter.com/CyrusWebb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music and, of course, a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.